Tyler Mahle is terrific Friday night. It's a shutout win for the Twins in Anaheim to kick off this 10-game stretch against teams currently below 500. This was a big one. Let's break it down on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Friday, August 12th into Saturday morning, August 13th. I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline is where the game starts. Again, this is Nash Walker. It's my third season on a daily basis, breaking down this team in the Locked On Twins podcast, where it's your team every day. I've been writing about the Twins for 4 seasons at twinsdaily.com. I just got home from Anaheim. I was at the game tonight in Anaheim, Angels-Twins. Good win for the Twins. 4-0 shutout victory. I'm going to tell you why that was a good win. Tyler Mahle was awesome. But here's what needs to happen over these next 10 games. The Twins have 3, now 2 more in Anaheim. They're 1-0. They have 3 at home against Kansas City, where it will be Joe Ryan, Sonny Gray, and Tyler Mahle, presumably, in those 3 games. And then they have 4 at home against Texas next weekend. 7 out of 10 are at home. All 10 are against teams currently below 500, and 2 of those teams, the Angels and Royals, are very bad. So what needs to happen over these next 10 games, especially Cleveland just keeps rolling. They whooped up on Barrios Friday night. Jose's had a horrific year. Horrific. The Twins need to, over these next 10 games, look like they did tonight. I'm not expecting a shutout in 10 games, but the Twins tonight, when I'm watching this game, there was no doubt, no question who the better team was. The better constructed, more talented team tonight was the Minnesota Twins, and there was no question. I think over the last couple of months, even when the Twins are better than the teams they're playing, and I know baseball is crazy. It's not always going to look like it, but it should. You know, if you're a good team, you should still look like the better team in a majority of games against teams that are worse than you, right? There's going to be nights where you don't. I understand that. I understand the game. But tonight, it wasn't one of those nights. They looked like the better team from start to finish. They had the better starting pitcher tonight. They had the deeper lineup. They had the bullpen arms to boot. This was a better team than the Angels tonight. That's what they need to do over these next 9 now. Over these next 9 games, they just need to play like the better team, because they are over these next 9. And that was a good win. Tyler Mahle was awesome. I was going to check if the home run, if it would have been a home run, the Taylor Ward hit to the wall, that would have been a game-tying home run off Tyler Mahle, a fly out, 97-degree exit velocity, launch angle 31, distance 358. I don't think that would be a home run at Great American Ballpark, but I was going to check the dimensions and see, like, is this an example of something? Is this an example of a home run that would have been out? Okay, so right field at Great American Ballpark is 325 feet down the line. And this ball wasn't hit down the line, but it was hit much further than that. It was hit at 358. So I don't know. I mean, that could have been a home run in Cincinnati and would have been a game-tying 3-run homer right there from Taylor Ward. He got good wood on it, went to the opposite field. We're going to be looking, and I'm going to be looking for examples of Tyler Mahle benefiting from being away from Cincinnati, because the numbers, it's not just like looking at the FIP and looking at those matter, like looking at his underlying numbers, everything shows that he should be better than the ERA suggests. It is more the pure fact that his road ERA and his road opponent's OPS since 2020 and 2019 is terrific, like among the best in the game on the road since then. And at home, he's awful in Cincinnati. So I think you saw tonight, you didn't really see it at Target Field in his first start of his Twins career, but we saw it tonight. I think what's behind that, and Tyler Mahle is a really good pitcher. And the Twins in this front office and this regime, when they target pitchers, they do have a type. They have a type. They've played into that type. Tyler Mahle fits that type exactly. And that type is a pitcher, not a thrower. Kenta Maeda, Tyler Mahle, Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, Bailey Olbert, basically the entire rotation is all low to mid 90s fastballs. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Like, I at times wish they would go after more throwers, guys who just have stuff, who can throw the crap out of the ball. And I think they did a little bit with Jorge Lopez and to some extent with Michael Fulmer. But Mahle, like Maeda, he's off-speed centric. That is their type. They prefer guys, and I know Mahle throws a lot of fastballs, but it's almost deceiving. Like, he throws a lot of fastballs because his fastball is a good pitch, but his fastball is a good pitch mostly because he has a very good splitter. His cutter / slider is okay. It's an okay pitch, but he shuts down lefties because he has such a good splitter, and his fastball plays so well off of the splitter. It is just like Kenta Maeda with his splitter and his slider too. He throws that split to lefties. He can spot it for strikes. He can throw it out of the zone to try to get you to chase, and then he'll get on you with that fastball. It's kind of like what I talk about with Joe Ryan, who doesn't really have a splitter like Mahle has. So his fastball is easier to jump on because you can just sit on it. With Mahle, you know he can throw that nasty split for a strike. You know he can throw it out of the zone. He can put it wherever he wants, which for a hitter, you're guessing. You're basically guessing. And he can beat you with the fastball too because it is lively and he can get it up there to 94, 95, but mostly sits 90 to 92. It plays up because it has life. Yes, not like elite life, but good life. And because his splitter is such a good pitch and he's a good pitcher. He's a pitcher. He's not a thrower. And I think the Twins target pitchers, and for right and wrong, they targeted Mahle, who I think is going to be really good for them. And so far tonight was terrific. But like, Dylan Bundy's a pitcher. He's not a thrower. You can go out there on the free agent market. Like, Jose Urena is a really good example. Jose Urena pitching for the Rockies this year. 96, 97 sinker. Good stuff, but not a pitcher. He's a thrower. And he's maybe in the same bucket as like Dylan Bundy and Jay Happ, like that bad in terms of results. But they prefer guys who are more pitchers than throwers. Jay Happ, Dylan Bundy. Archer's more of a thrower, so I'll give him that. Archer's more of a thrower, but the overwhelming majority of guys they target are pitchers, and Tyler Mahle is a pitcher, and he's a very good one. And this was an awesome start. Jose Miranda, another big night. The Twins show off their depth. Let's break that down after this word from Liver Health Formula. Did you know the key to sustainable weight loss is through your liver? The liver is the body's metabolic furnace. It's responsible for flushing out harmful toxins and igniting your fat-burning metabolism. Liver Health Formula is here for you. By Pure Health Research, Liver Health Formula contains 8 liver-boosting super nutrients like turmeric, beet, and artichoke extract. This is outstanding. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. Again, that's getliverhelp.com/MLB to try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB now to get started. Jose Miranda, 2-hit night, terrible send from Tommy Watkins. Twins are lucky they won. They were lucky that run from Sandy Leon didn't matter because that was a terrible send on a Miranda single. But 74 games, Jose hitting 282, 327 on base, slugging 472 for a 799 OPS. And something that I pointed out a lot last year and into the offseason about Miranda Mania is he crushes left-handed pitching. The numbers, I wish I had them in front of me. The numbers against lefties, I'm going to pull these up because these numbers are insane in the minors last year against left-handed pitching. He was like mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling how good he was against left-handed pitchers last year. Let's look at this overall line. 397 with a 450 on-base percentage. He slugged 713 in 151 plate appearances against lefties. That's an OPS of 1,164. 21 extra base hits, 26 runs driven in 151 plate appearances, 22 strikeouts. 22 strikeouts and 151 plate appearances against lefties. In the upper minors, this isn't low A. Like, this is double A and triple A. Jose Miranda just demolishing lefties, and he's done it at the major league level too. And he did it tonight. Like that's what he does. And he's just a really good young hitter. He gets behind in the count. He finds a way. That double, he kind of just got beat by a slider, poked it out to right, found a hole. He has the ability to go to all fields. We know this. He can go to all fields with power. He wants to pull the ball with power, but he's not afraid to just bloop hits to right field. Like he's not afraid to go to the right field gap, right center field gap. Jose Miranda, I mean, what else can you say? He's been so good. When's the last time the Twins relied on this many rookies in a season? Joe Ryan, Yohan Duran, Jose Miranda, like pivotal parts of this season in a race for the division crown. I think long-term, this will help those guys. I think it'll help Joe Ryan to be in the middle of this. I think it'll help Yohan Duran to pitch in all these high leverage situations. I think it'll help Jose Miranda in the future to get, like, just understand and know what it feels like to be in August and September of a season where you're chasing a crown. You're trying to make the playoffs. And usually, like, when you're relying on rookies like this, the team sucks and the team's out of it, and they're not playing for anything other than experience, which is important. Like, think of last year, Griffin Jax. If Griffin Jax never gets called up last year, he's probably not in the Twins bullpen right now because they saw something in him at the major league level. It's possible they would have moved him, but his numbers were so stark the first, second, and third time through a lineup. They looked and they said, your slider's elite. Let's move you to the bullpen. And most of that was because they gave him an opportunity as a starter last year because the team was terrible and they needed starters, and Griffin Jax stepped in. These three are so important to what the Twins do. We just need to remember that they are rookies. Yohan Duran, Jose Miranda, and Joe Ryan. The depth tonight. Gilberto Celestino with a big 2-run homer. I always say Twins need more big swings with runners on base. They get one from Selly. And then Gio Urshela had a great night. He homers as well. It's not always going to be Buxton. Correa has been really bad. It's not always going to be Buxton, Correa, Polanco, and those three. I mean, Buck had a hit and he walked. He reached twice. Struck out 3 times. Correa didn't really do anything tonight. He had a hit. Polanco didn't really do anything tonight. Miranda had 2 hits. Didn't end up like leading to anything really. But they're going to need the bottom of the lineup to come through more often. And I said in my last show, I think in my last show or 2 shows ago, one of the reasons the Twins are 30 and now 31 and 37 over their last 68 games is because their depth hasn't shown up like it did in the first couple of months. And if Selly can come through and do this from time to time, I mean, he's been pretty solid for them on the year. He had some bloop singles. The luck caught up to him, but he's been a solid 4th outfielder for them, and they need him. They need Selly because AK's done. Kirilloff's done for the year. Garlick's out right now. They need Selly, and they need Gio too. They need both these guys, and both of them came through tonight. How about that Mahle, Fulmer, Duran, Lopez chain of events? Beautiful. Beautiful. Showing off the trade deadline acquisitions in this bullpen. Let's talk about the bullpen's performance and how impressive it was after these words from Blue Nile and Bet Online. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers with a handcraft or a perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind. Looking for fine jewelry but having trouble choosing? Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at every budget. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile anniversary sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. This is a great platform, whether you want to do it on your phone or your desktop. BetOnline.net has it all. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, of course, the NHL, the NFL is coming up. It's all there. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline is where the game starts. Head over to BetOnline.net. It's the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Mahle to Fulmer to Duran to Lopez. That's the formula. 6 scoreless from Mahle. Go right into Michael Fulmer. Shutdown inning. Duran gives up a hit or walk in a wild pitch, but gets out of it. Lope gives up a leadoff single, works out of it. That's how we draw it up. That's how we draw it up right there. Really pretty. 3 out of the 4, of course, acquired at the deadline by the Twins. The other is a rookie. The deadline acquisitions, I mean, I really liked what they did, and that's why I gave them a B+/A-. The reason I didn't give them an A is because Dylan Bundy's starting Saturday and Chris Archer's starting Sunday, which tells me they didn't get another starting pitcher. But I'm hopeful that going into September, Bailey Ober's back in some capacity, Josh Winder's back in some capacity, and that will help out. But the rotation is still pretty shallow. You're kind of thinking like, okay, how we need to get back to the front of the rotation again. Like we need to get back to Sonny and Mahle and Joe. And if Joe's going to have the start he did in LA, and Joe has a 5+ ERA since he came off the COVID list, then it shortens up even more. And he's under an innings limit because he's a rookie. So the rotation is still clearly lacking, but getting these types of performances from Mahle goes a really long way, because tonight, yes, you used Fulmer, Duran, and Lopez, but you didn't use Jax, you didn't use Thielbar. You had a day off. You know, these guys should be available Saturday and Sunday, and you're going to need them because it's Bundy and Archer. But this was big for Mahle to go 6. Those weren't really high stress innings for those 3 tonight, and it was just a really well pitched ball game. And as I said, the Twins were the better team, and they played like it. We need to see a lot more of that over the next 9 games and down the stretch. And as I said, the Guardians are just winning. They're playing winning baseball. Twins are a game and a half back. Chicago 2.5 back, or 2 back of the Twins, 3.5 back of the Guardians. All 3 teams won this evening. That was a fun game. I mean, that's what needs to happen. That was a fun game. It was fun to watch Mahle deal the way he did. When I look at next year's team, I was doing a little exercise today, and I was looking at next year's team. If Mahle has a really, really solid August and September for the Twins, and hopefully into October, you're going to be feeling really good. I already am feeling pretty good about the rotation in 2023, and it's not bulletproof at all. They still lack like a true ace. They don't have like a true number 1. I think they have a couple number 2s in Sonny and Mahle. They have a 3-4 in Joe Ryan, and Kenta Maeda's coming back. However, Bailey Ober, I think, is in that 3-4 category with Joe. I said that all offseason. Like, you got to get 2 guys ahead of them. And now they have 2 guys ahead of them. They got 1 after the lockout. They got another at the trade deadline. But they also will have financial flexibility. Correa's likely opting out. I know it's crazy to think about, but yes, like he's going to get paid huge money in free agency, and he's going to want to take that money in free agency. So the Twins will have flexibility in the rotation. And I could see them next year, like with Mahle and Gray and Ryan and Ober, and hopefully Winder, and hopefully Woods Richardson, who's been very good. Louis Varland had a great AAA debut tonight in St. Paul, was hitting the upper 90s on the gun from the right side. All those guys factored in. And then you have Lopez and Duran in the back end of the bullpen with Jax as you know, a good young option. They have, and Thielbar, they have a solid foundation, like way more of a solid foundation than they've had in the last couple of years. They still will need to improve, but they're going to have money to spend in the offseason. And I think they could take a route this winter where they really shore up and say, we're going to become like a run prevention team. This is going to be a team that prevents runs. And they go out and get a defensive first shortstop to fill in before Royce Lewis comes back. And they have Miranda at third and Louis at first, and Kirilloff's mixed in there in the outfield with Buxton and Kepler and Polo at second. And it's more of like a run prevention centric team. I think they have the pieces in place with Tyler Mahle next year now added to the mix to potentially go that route. I'm getting way ahead of myself here, and I know it's 1 start against a bad Angels team, but this goes beyond the 1 start. I think Mahle is going to be really, really solid for the Twins. And I'm still excited that they got him. Like, I'm excited about him. And I think he's going to stabilize this rotation. He's gone 6 innings in both of his starts. I think he's going to help out the bullpen. I think he's going to make the Twins tougher to play, and that's exciting. And I think that's the same for Jorge Lopez and Michael Fulmer. I'm ready for the Twins to go to battle with this group, I will say, entering today, they were playing at a 73 win pace over their last 67 games. 30-37 is a 73 win pace over a 162 game season. You know how many games they won last year? 73. So we're still in a spot where I need to see that they're actually good on a consistent basis. They have not had any positive momentum multiple games in a row. 3, 4, 5 win streaks. They haven't had that in so long. And it's been very Twins-like to have a great first game of a series and then come out the next day and come out flat or have a terrible start or explode in the field and find a way to lose the next day. That's been a calling card for them over the last couple months. What I need to see and what Twins fans need to see to feel more confident in this team, and not only just them making the playoffs, but like if they get there, to feel even a shrivel of confidence that they're going to put up a fight, is they need to just take care of business and they need to be more consistent as a group, consistent at bats, consistently good starts, consistently good bullpen outings. They need more consistency. And in order to get consistency, it has to start with one good thing. And they had a good thing Friday night. They had a good win, a good shutout win. This Angels team is bad. I told you in the series preview, outside of Ohtani, this lineup sucks. Like, you can't let this lineup beat you this weekend. I think they're set up and they should sweep now. I said Friday night, that's a game. If you can take that game, you can set yourself up to sweep, because I believe the Twins will win Sunday against a terrible lefty in Tucker Davidson. If they can, Saturday will be interesting. Detmers has been awesome for them recently for the Angels. Reed Detmers, good young left-handed starter. But I think the Twins are set up to sweep this weekend after beating Sandoval Friday night. Of the three, he's the one I looked at and said like a more veteran, tougher matchup for the Twins. They beat him. They got a great start from Tyler Mahle. Bundy and Archer, give the Twins a chance to win, turn it over to the bullpen, and let's go get a sweep. I hope I'm talking to you about a sweep Sunday night. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen today, and I'll make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Go Twins. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Go Twins. Have fun at the game.